Hello, guys. Welcome back to Affirmations. I want to wish everyone mental, spiritual, emotional, and physical health. Okay. And I'm hoping that you had a good week. If you did not have a good week, what is one thing you can do to kind of help it be better next week? Okay. Let's see if it's going to give us some Palo Santo. There it is. Yeah, it's giving you all some Palo Santo. Yes, I want to thank my subscribers and any new subscribers that I have, as well as those who are just following through. Okay. And for those of you that are new, we do tackle the topic of healing slave trauma. And we always start off with our saying, death and life is in the power of the tongue, and they that love it shall eat the fruit thereof. Have you been feeding yourself fresh or rotten fruit? We always want to mind the self talk that we do with ourselves, as well as what we speak out loud, as well as what we speak about others. We all vent, but we want to make sure that we're not lying on others or being malicious, okay? Um, Sometimes they can activate, reap what you sow, okay? Let's see. So, what we're going to be doing today is we're going to be kind of looking at talking about our inner child, okay? We're going to kind of pull a card and see about that. One of the things we always talk about is our inner child. It's important that we tap into that because that is the space where we still dream, we hope, we imagine, okay, as well as our inner child. A lot of times there are wounds there that we must look at. We always connect it to slavery again. In slavery, as well as even today and throughout the generations, we have not been allowed to be just children. Okay, we've always had to play the double role of kind of like an adult slash child because of the society that we do live in. So we have had to learn to be cautious, but it's important that we also heal inner child type wounds because they affect our relationships. Okay. And one of the things we always talk about is damage that was done during slavery. It affected all forms of our relationships, especially male female dynamics. And so we want to make sure we're looking at these things so we can heal, so we can have better relationships. Okay. Okay, let's see. So I will put this in the description box. Okay. Inner child. Okay. Let's see. Okay, let's see what we're going to get today. Okay, let's see what we're going to get. Just kind of looking at what inner child issue do we need to look at and what we need to possibly heal. Okay. And I love this particular deck because it has like, uses kind of like a childlike character. Okay. So let's see what we're going to get. This reminds me of when I used to work with children in schools. I would do groups, sometimes for anger management, sometimes for children that were being bullied. And we would play a lot of little games. You had to be creative. And so we would always do a type of random pulling or something like that. And so it's amazing. I really love this style because it is kind of like makes it a little bit more fun to kind of talk about complicated issues and topics. Okay. All right, let's see. Okay, if nothing's going to come out, I'm just going to randomly pull. Let's see, what do we get? Interesting. Okay, we got celebrate. This is so cute. Celebrate. Oh, so cute. Yeah. Are some of you all celebrating something? Let's see what this is. Celebrate. So before I even read this, one of the things we want to talk about celebrate, it's kind of tricky because sometimes when we're going through stressful situations, life is always something going on. It's difficult for us to celebrate or to totally focus and be able to enjoy ourselves and allow ourselves to kind of, like they say, celebrate. So we have to make sure that while life is going on, and I do feel like our people have always had that gift, right? No matter what stress we went through, we had all kind of art forms. We knew how to have a good time, right? And even today, a lot of family members would do that get together. It's kind of like a lost art now. Some families still gets together, some don't, but there was a time when people would kind of get together and be able to kind of break up the monotony of just the routines, as well as if things are just kind of stressful going on. I kind of laugh at what's going on politically. We always talk about how there's a lot going on. A lot of blacks have decided just to kind of step aside, mind our business. But I've been laughing seeing this video, the boots on the ground. And so they have these little shorts where they'll show the political climate, and then they'll show the video to the side with a lot of our people getting down to the boots on the ground. So it's amazing how if you put your energy and you just kind of, energy is powerful, right? What you pay attention to, the concept is that it sometimes will increase it. Sometimes when you accept that it's some things that you can't control, but realize your own power, if you focus and put energy into that you can control, it makes the difference. Okay. All right. So let's see what this is saying. It says celebrate. It says it's party time in Blue Burrow. My Blue has made a big cake, and Pa Blue has collected gifts for the birthday bunny in a bag in a big sack. When it's time to cut the cake and hand out presents, they all gather around to watch Cousin Lenny open his gifts. Benny smiles and cheers. A birthday for one is a celebration for all. Interesting. It says, there is only one of you. You are a unique set of cells assembled to be a part of the perfection of this universe. What you think, say, and do matters. Your contribution to the world is sorely needed and is sure to be celebrated. Now, before we move on, this is an interesting one. Your contributions to the world is needed and is sure to be celebrated. Some people may find that they're not being celebrated, but yet they're the ones putting in a lot of work. Sometimes we're not celebrated. But if others can't do that for us, we want to make sure that we're celebrating ourselves. It's important self-validation. Well, how can I reward myself for something that I feel like I'm contributing or doing? Because sometimes if we get stuck with focusing on other people celebrating us or acknowledging, sometimes that will increases animosity. It's important that we not be what we call codependent. Of course, we do depend on our groups. It is important to get validation. But when we can't get that from others, we need to make sure we're doing self-validation and healthy self-validation, right? Rewarding ourselves with health in healthy ways, not in a lot of times if you call yourself kind of holding it in and getting upset that people aren't celebrating you, it kind of can create this atmosphere of, not I'll show them, but I'm a little pissed. I'm just supposed to get kind of out of control, right? And it kind of builds up as anger, and then it will come out in a celebration of something toxic. Okay, so we want to be aware of that. It says, this card confirms you are being called to bigger things. Perhaps you have been offered a promotion at work. So some of you all may be celebrating something positive, right? And hopefully people around you are celebrating. But again, in slavery, what did they do? They pitted us against each other. So sometimes jealousy can become a thing when we get something, right? Sometimes it will trigger jealousy of, family members, friends. That's a kind of normal thing for our people, okay? And so we need to just be aware of that. And that's when it's important to make sure you validate and celebrate yourself, okay? And it can get tricky. Let's see. And if you do find that people are truly celebrating you, you need to look around and see who are the people that are generally happy. Are those the people that you need to be joining with? Do you need to separate from the people that are not able to be happy for you when you are in a celebratory mood or something good has happened to you? Okay, you need to think about that. Let's see. It says, perhaps you've been offered a promotion at work, been asked to take a big step in a relationship, or are you being called to walk your own path? Do not be afraid of change. Dive boldly into the new future and be prepared to make a big splash. Be fearless and gravitate toward what feels right, good, and safely aligned in your life purpose. Move toward what lights you up inside. Trust that the universe, and again, one of the things we talk about is that a lot of these books will kind of use different language. Instead of universe, I always say the Most High. Trust that the Most High wants you to feel and do good. It wants to communicate with you through you. Let it lead you to greater success and happiness. It says, do something to commemorate this moment. Again, that's that self-validation. Make sure you celebrate yourself. Think about what is something that I might want to do to be able to acknowledge this win for myself. It says throw a party, go out to dinner with friends, have a night out on the town, have fun. You deserve it. Your existence and what you bring to the world is worthy of celebration, right? It says, here's the affirmation. It says, as I celebrate the daring of my soul, my joy brings joy to the world. Okay. And again, with our people, it's a little tricky because, again, they've trained us to not be happy for others when others are accomplishing things, this kind of competition. So we want to be able to understand. I love the scripture, rain will fall on the just and the unjust. Life has cycles, and so it's important that we're able to be happy for others and be patient for our time. So that's something that we need to heal. If you find yourself feeling jealous, you need to journal about that. What is that about, right? Why am I being so negative that someone is accomplishing a thing, right? Or being rewarded for a thing? What insecurities is that pulling on? What does that mean? Am I comparing myself to others, right? So we have to make sure that, and that's another thing too. Sometimes we'll see others doing the thing and then we'll start copying when that is not our life purpose. So it's a beautiful thing to be able to see someone, celebrate them, not feel like I have to do what they're doing, right? And also too, sometimes underneath jealousy is inspiration. Sometimes we're not so much jealous, but we're inspired trying to figure out, well, what should I do? It is a spark that's there that's making us wonder, what should I do to kind of find my life purpose, okay? So we want to look at it from that standpoint, okay? So journal, do journal. And then if those of you that are celebrating something, like they say, do something, invite others. Or if you don't have anyone to celebrate with, make sure that you are finding something to reward yourself with, okay? All right. So what we're going to do is this particular deck I've been using, and I'll again put this in the comment section. 100 positive affirmation cards. I like this one. This is a good little one. Okay, and so we're just going to pull for this. Okay, so those of you that are new, we normally will pull a kind of affirmation. Okay, let's see. Let's see what we get. I got me a rainy day today. A soft rainy day. It's very pretty. I love the sound of rain. It's one of my favorite things to do is kind of drink tea, look out the window. Very relaxing. Okay, let's see. Here's the next thing. It says, never give up because great things take time. It kind of falls in place what we're talking about a little bit. Never give up because great things take time, right? So we have to persevere. We have to be patient. And again, sometimes we give up because it's not happened fast enough. We have to journal about that. Why are we in such a rush? Okay. Sometimes we're in a rush because it is not about our life purpose. Is it that we're trying to hurry up and compete? Is it that I love the scripture says, be anxious for nothing. I really need to write that somewhere, even for myself. That is a tricky one. Be anxious for nothing, right? Learning how to be balanced and steady. Understanding that everything has its season and its time, right? Let's see what the question says. It says, do I ever feel like giving up? I think we all go through those phases, right? Yeah. Do I ever feel like giving up? Yeah. So that's something to kind of think about. What should I do when I feel like quitting? Right? We need to think about that. Yeah. Yeah. Do you ever feel like giving up? And we need to, journal about that. What's going on that's creating that? Also, too, we talked about how sometimes our group, people will see you trying to achieve a goal. Sometimes they will create blocks and sabotage. Are you feeling like giving up because other people are kind of sabotaging? Or are you sharing too much information, trying to get support, right? We have to learn how to validate ourselves, because sometimes when we're sharing with other people, we're inviting in situations where people can give judgment, which can affect our morale, right? Or sometimes they may accidentally or on purpose do something to create a situation where you want to give up. So we have to be wise as a serpent, harmless as a dove. It says, what should I do when I feel like quitting, right? Sometimes we have to go back to the drawing board. Sometimes we have to really be able to admit what's going on around us and adjust. Sometimes it may mean adjusting and then seeing that you don't have the support and stop sharing, right? Be private. We have to self-motivate as we reach little goals off our checklist, reward ourselves. A lot of times we're looking for other people to say, I'm doing good, right? Right. But we have to understand our people have been wounded, so sometimes that can be tricky. Okay. So that's something to think about. Okay, I want to thank you all for joining me today. Please like, share, and subscribe. Do hit the notification bell. Give me a, let's see, what color heart do I want? Give me a black heart. Put a black heart in the comment section, just to let me know you're there and that you support the channel. Also, too, that helps the algorithm pick up the YouTube channel so it can grow. Also, too, look in the description box for information about counseling or for different things that you may need regarding counseling, as well as getting in contact with me. Also, understand that I will never reach out to you. So if someone's doing that, no, that's not me. Okay. Also, let's see, anything else? Yes. Okay. So we always end and always talk about this, that everyone deserves the right to heal from trauma. Okay. Our people have not been granted the empathy to heal from trauma. But again, we are about self-validation, right? We give ourselves permission to heal, but no one has the right to interfere or give their opinion about your healing. Okay. That is a private journey. Okay. And so again, until next time, thank you all so much for joining me. Okay. And I will see you all next time.